Have you ever noticed how the little things start to matter more after 65? You walk a bit slower. You take a little more time climbing stairs. Maybe your heart skips a beat, not just emotionally, but literally. And in those quiet moments, maybe you've thought, am I still in control of my health? Or is it starting to control me? If you've ever felt that fear, if you've ever heard your doctor use the word risk, or watch closely, or borderline, I want you to know you're not alone. But more importantly, I want you to know this: it is not too late. I'm about to share with you 10 life-saving habits, real, proven, natural things you can do that can reverse your heart risk after the age of 65. Not slow it, not just manage it, reverse it. And before you think, that sounds too good to be true, let me be clear. Every one of these habits is backed by clinical, peer-reviewed research. Not fads, not fluff. Just the powerful truth your heart has been waiting to hear. Because here's what no one tells you. Your heart is still listening. Even now. Even if you've been diagnosed with high blood pressure. Even if your cholesterol's been rising. Even if you've had a scare or a stent or a stern talk from your cardiologist. Your heart hasn't given up on you. It's asking for help. And today, we answer that call. But first, let me tell you about a man named Charles. He was 72 when he wrote to me. Former teacher, loved jazz, woodworking, and making pancakes for his grandkids. He'd always been active, but during the pandemic, things changed. He put on weight. His blood pressure crept up. He felt tired all the time. Then one day, he was walking across the parking lot and felt a strange heaviness in his chest. Not pain exactly, just off. That moment scared him more than anything else had in years. He went to the ER. They told him it wasn't a heart attack, but it could have been. His arteries were starting to narrow. His numbers weren't terrible, but they weren't good either. The doctor gave him medications and said, "We'll monitor it." Charles didn't want to just be monitored. He wanted to do something. He didn't want to live in fear. He wanted to live in strength. And that's how he found Health360 Pro. He started applying the habits I'm about to share with you. Just one at a time, slowly, consistently. Within 4 months, his blood pressure was back in a healthy range. His cholesterol dropped 38 points. His energy returned. And when he went in for his next scan, his doctor said 6 words he never expected to hear. "You've reversed your cardiovascular risk." That's not magic, that's biology. That's what happens when the right choices meet the right time in your life. And if you're over 65, the time is right now. Let's begin with something that seems small, but can completely change the way your heart functions. Breathing. Not just the automatic kind, I mean conscious breathing. Research from Harvard and the University of California shows that 5 to 10 minutes a day of slow diaphragmatic breathing, just 6 to 10 breaths per minute, can lower your blood pressure, regulate your vagus nerve, and reduce arterial stiffness. Why? Because your breath is your nervous system's steering wheel. When you breathe slowly, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, what we call rest and digest. And when that happens, your blood vessels relax, your heart rate becomes more efficient, inflammation drops, stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline begin to retreat. This isn't theory. This is measurable. And the best part? It's free. It's simple. You can do it right now. Try this. Place one hand on your chest, one on your belly. Close your eyes. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold it for 1, then exhale gently through your mouth for 6. Do that for 5 minutes. Feel your body shift. That's not just relaxation, that's repair. Now, let's talk about something that most people never connect to heart health, but it might be the biggest factor of all: sleep. Did you know that poor sleep is as dangerous to your heart as smoking? I know that sounds extreme, but the data is clear. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that adults over 60 who sleep less than 6 hours a night have a 20–40% higher risk of heart disease and stroke. Why? Because sleep is when your cardiovascular system resets. Your blood pressure drops, your heart rate stabilizes, your blood vessels repair microscopic damage. And if that doesn't happen, night after night, your body starts aging faster than your calendar. But here's the good news. Improving sleep doesn't mean 8 perfect hours. It means protecting your evening routine. No screens an hour before bed, no heavy meals late at night, magnesium-rich foods like spinach, almonds, or bananas in the evening, a walk after dinner, cooler bedroom temperature. Even small adjustments add up, because sleep is not optional. It's the maintenance shift your heart depends on. And speaking of movement, let's clear something up once and for all. You don't need to work out to reverse heart risk. You need to move, regularly, consistently, with intention. Studies from Stanford, Mayo Clinic, and the WHO all confirm this. Just 20-30 minutes of moderate movement, brisk walking, swimming, tai chi, even dancing, can reduce heart attack risk by 30% or more. Not intense exercise, not boot camp. Just movement that brings your heart rate gently up, gets your blood flowing, and wakes up your mitochondria. Your cells become more efficient. Your insulin response improves. Your arteries stay elastic. Your heart muscle strengthens without stress. One of the best things I've seen work: walking in nature. There's something about trees, sunlight, and open air that shifts the body out of tension and into rhythm. It's called green exercise, and it's been shown to reduce cortisol levels and lower resting heart rate more than indoor movement alone. Plus, it's good for your soul, and your soul matters here. Now, I want to tell you about a woman named Loretta. She's 76, had triple bypass at 68. Told me once, I was afraid to move after that, afraid I'd break. But one day, her granddaughter said, "Grandma, walk with me." They did 1 lap around the block. The next day, 2. The week after that, they went to the park. That was 4 years ago. Loretta now walks 30 minutes every day. No excuses. She calls it her moving meditation. Her last cardiologist visit? Better than I've seen in a decade, her doctor said. That's the power of reclaiming your rhythm, and it's never too late to start. Let's shift gears now to something that affects your heart in ways most people overlook: connection. Loneliness is now recognized by the CDC and the WHO as a serious cardiovascular risk factor, especially in older adults. Chronic loneliness raises inflammation markers like CRP and IL-6. It increases stress hormones, it disrupts sleep, it weakens immune response. But most of all, it makes you less likely to take care of yourself. Because when no one's watching, when no one's checking in, when you feel unseen, it's easy to say, "What's the point?" But here's the truth. You are the point, and your heart needs more than blood and oxygen. It needs love. It needs laughter. It needs someone to ask, "How was your day?" Connection is a medicine, and it doesn't have to be a crowd. One person, one friend, one group, one phone call. That's all it takes to shift your biology. There's a study from Brigham Young University that showed adults with strong social ties have a 50% greater chance of survival across all health outcomes. 50%. That's more powerful than diet, more than quitting smoking. Connection heals. So, if you've been isolated, reach out. If you've pulled away, go back. If you've been alone too long, let someone in. Your heart isn't just a pump, it's a compass. And it knows when you're alone. You're not meant to go through this part of life by yourself. We were built for each other, for companionship, for community. And every time you laugh with someone, listen to someone, hug someone, your heart thanks you. Let me pause here and say this. If you're still watching, still listening, you are already doing the most important thing you can do. You're paying attention. You're choosing to care for your body, your mind, and your future. And that's powerful. But we're just getting started. Because what comes next are the habits that truly transform your physiology from the inside out. These are the habits that don't just slow aging. They reverse disease patterns that many doctors say are inevitable. They're not inevitable. They're just common. And you, my friend, you are uncommon. So take a breath. Feel your chest rise. That's life moving through you. That's strength waiting to be claimed. And in the next part of our journey, we're going to talk about what you eat and how it either saves your heart or slowly sabotages it. But I promise you this, no guilt, no shame, no unrealistic diets, just the truth your cells have been waiting to hear. Let's keep going. Now, let's lean into the truth that so many people avoid because they've been made to feel guilty, overwhelmed, or confused by it. Food. Not diet, not restrictions, not a list of don'ts. I'm talking about nourishment. Real nourishment. The kind that doesn't just fill you up, but builds you back. Because here's what the science shows us, again and again. What you eat becomes what you are. Literally. Your blood, your cells, your hormones, even the lining of your arteries are all rebuilt every day from the raw materials you provide. So when you choose foods that support your heart, you are not just reducing risk, you are laying the bricks of a stronger future, bite by bite. But I want to take a moment here to undo some damage, because many seniors I speak with tell me they feel defeated when it comes to food. They've been told for decades, avoid fat, don't eat red meat, skip carbs, try this shake, cut out eggs. It's exhausting, and most of it, misguided. Nutrition science has evolved dramatically over the last 15 years. We now know that certain fats help your heart, that cholesterol is not the enemy we once thought, that inflammation, not dietary fat, is what truly harms your arteries. So let's come back to what's real, what works, what's proven. The Mediterranean-style pattern of eating, rich in olive oil, nuts, leafy greens, legumes, fish, and modest amounts of fruit and whole grains, has been studied more than any other in relation to heart health. In the famous Predimed study, seniors who followed this way of eating had up to a 30% reduction in major cardiovascular events. And that wasn't over a lifetime. That was over just a few years. Imagine that. Choosing olive oil over vegetable oil, swapping out processed snacks for almonds or walnuts, adding a handful of berries to your breakfast, grilling salmon once or twice a week. That's not a diet. That's a life upgrade. And it's not about perfection. One of the most heart-protective meals you can make is so simple it'll almost sound too easy. Roasted vegetables with olive oil and herbs, a small piece of grilled fish or chicken, and a side of lentils or quinoa. That's it. That's medicine on a plate. That's a meal that reduces C-reactive protein levels, supports nitric oxide production, balances your blood sugar, and gives your mitochondria, the energy centers of your cells, the fuel they need to keep your heart pumping strong. And here's something that doesn't get said enough. Flavor matters. Enjoyment matters. Seniors shouldn't be eating sad, bland meals in the name of health. Food is joy. It's memory. It's culture. It's connection. So use herbs. Use spices. Try cinnamon, turmeric, basil, rosemary. They're not just for taste. They're anti-inflammatory, heart-protective compounds in their own right. There's also something powerful about timing. We now know that when you eat can affect your cardiovascular health just as much as what you eat. Giving your body a window of 12 to 14 hours overnight where it's not digesting food, what we sometimes call time-restricted eating, gives your cells time to repair. It lowers insulin levels, reduces triglycerides, and improves metabolic flexibility. So, if you finish dinner by 7 p.m. and don't eat again until 8 or 9 a.m. the next day, you've already done something remarkable for your heart. And let's not forget hydration. Most older adults are walking around mildly dehydrated, and they don't even know it. Your blood is mostly water. Your lymph system, your heart's own tissue, it all depends on proper hydration to function. Even a 2% drop in hydration can raise your heart rate and constrict your blood vessels. So, aim for half your body weight in ounces of clean water each day. Add a pinch of sea salt if you need help absorbing it. Herbal teas count too. But sodas, sugary drinks, excessive coffee, they don't. They dehydrate. They inflame. They work against the very vessel that's trying to carry you through life. Now, while we're here, let's have a real moment. Let's talk about sugar, and not in a judgmental way. I know the comfort it brings, the habits it's wrapped in, the joy of dessert after dinner, the way a piece of chocolate or a cookie can feel like a reward. I'm not here to take that from you, but I am here to remind you what sugar does inside the body of someone over 65. It stiffens arteries, it raises blood pressure, it spikes insulin, it increases something called advanced glycation end products, aptly nicknamed AGEs, which literally age your blood vessels faster than anything else in your diet. And it's not just sweets, it's white bread, white rice, highly processed carbs that act like sugar in the body. But here's the good news. Your taste buds can change, and they do. In just 10 to 14 days of reducing added sugars and processed carbs, your brain begins to recalibrate. Fruit starts to taste sweeter. You stop craving the spike. Your energy evens out. Your body stops being ruled by sugar highs and crashes, and your heart, it finally gets a break. Now, I want to share a story with you. A woman named Gloria, 68, retired nurse, beautiful spirit, but for years she had a serious soda habit, 3 cans a day. She knew it wasn't helping, but she didn't know how to stop. She tried everything: cold turkey, diet versions, caffeine-free alternatives, but nothing stuck. Then, we had a conversation that changed everything. I said, "Gloria, what if this isn't about removing something bad, but about adding something good?" So instead of focusing on what to stop, she focused on what to start. She added a morning green tea ritual. She started drinking infused water with cucumber and mint. She tried sparkling water with a splash of fresh lime. Slowly, without pressure, her taste changed. Within 6 weeks, the sodas were gone and not missed. The result? Her blood pressure dropped. Her heart palpitations disappeared. She lost 12 pounds without trying, and most importantly, she felt proud, empowered, in control. That's what these habits are about. Not punishment, power. Because the truth is, your body still wants to heal. It still wants to serve you, move you, love you back. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing. Now, let's explore one more habit in this part of our journey, one that might surprise you. Gratitude. Yes, gratitude. You may be wondering, what does being thankful have to do with reversing heart risk? Let me tell you, everything. The University of California conducted a study where participants kept a daily gratitude journal, just 3 things they were thankful for each day. After just 10 weeks, the gratitude group had lower blood pressure, better sleep, improved heart rate variability, and even reduced levels of pro-inflammatory cytokines. Gratitude changes your biology. It reduces stress. It rewires your brain to notice joy, and joy is healing. So, here's something you can do tonight. Before bed, take out a notebook. Write down 3 things you appreciated today. It can be big or small. A sunset, a smile from a stranger, a phone call, the way your favorite song made you feel. Do it for a week. Then see how your body responds, how your heart begins to exhale. Because when we shift from fear to gratitude, we stop living in stress and start living in strength. I want you to imagine what your life could look like if even a few of these habits became your new normal. Not all at once, not perfectly, but gently over time. Breathing deeper, sleeping soundly, moving with purpose, nourishing your body, connecting with others, choosing gratitude over worry. Imagine how your mornings would feel, how your walks would feel, how your doctor visits would feel. This is the new story of aging. Not decline, design. We are designing the second act of your life with more energy, more clarity, more courage, and a heart that doesn't just keep beating, but beats with joy. And as we move into the next part, we're going to talk about some of the most overlooked heart threats, things you won't hear about in commercials or see on your prescription bottle, things that silently chip away at heart strength, but that you can reverse starting today. Because this isn't about fear. This is about freedom. You've come too far to settle for survival. Let's step into the power of thriving. Let's take a breath together. Feel your chest rise and fall. That's your heart, still showing up for you, still saying yes to this moment. Now, let's honor it by talking about something most people miss. Not because they're careless, but because no one ever taught them to look for it. I'm talking about hidden heart stressors, the kind you don't feel as chest pain or shortness of breath, the kind that builds silently, gradually, invisibly, until one day, the body can't ignore it anymore. And it starts with something we almost never associate with heart health: loneliness. Yes, loneliness. According to a meta-analysis published in the journal Heart, social isolation and loneliness increase the risk of heart disease by nearly 30%. That's the same risk as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Not because you're not loved, but because your nervous system can't tell the difference between being physically alone and being emotionally unsupported. Your stress hormones go up, your inflammation increases, your blood vessels tighten, your sleep quality drops. And the worst part? It all happens quietly. While on the outside, everything might seem fine, but you and I both know the truth. Maybe you lost someone, maybe your children live far away, maybe your days feel quiet and the phone doesn't ring as much anymore. Maybe you still smile when you go out, but deep down, there's a sense of being unseen. That kind of silence, emotional silence, can be just as harmful as a bad diet. So what do? We reconnect, not by waiting for someone to show up, but by becoming the one who reaches out. Even one meaningful conversation a week can begin to shift your biology. Even a short phone call, a shared meal, a visit to a local group, a walk with a neighbor. It sends your heart a new message. I am still connected. I still matter. And here's the beautiful truth. Connection doesn't always have to be with people. It can be with nature, with purpose, with a pet, with your own story. A 2020 study published in Circulation showed that people who reported a strong sense of life purpose had significantly lower rates of heart events. Not because they had better genetics, but because they had a reason to keep showing up, a reason to care for themselves, a reason to choose the healthier meal, to take the walk, to speak kindly to their own reflection. So, what's your reason? Is it your grandchild's graduation? Is it that trip you've always wanted to take? Is it the garden you want to see bloom again in spring? Whatever it is, write it down. Say it out loud. Let your heart hear it. Purpose isn't abstract, it's fuel. Now, let's talk about another hidden stressor, one that masquerades as busyness or just getting older, or that's just how I've always been. I'm talking about poor sleep. And I don't just mean getting fewer than 8 hours. I mean broken sleep, inconsistent sleep, sleep that doesn't restore you. Because sleep is when your heart gets to rest. Your blood pressure drops, your arteries relax, your immune system resets, your brain clears out inflammatory waste. And without it, your body stays stuck in stress mode. Your heart beats harder than it should. Your cortisol stays high. Your insulin becomes resistant. Your risk of heart attack and stroke rises, sometimes by as much as 48% in people who get fewer than 6 hours of quality sleep. But here's the hope. You can train your body to sleep better, even now. Even if you've been struggling for years, start by reclaiming your evening. Power down screens an hour before bed, lower the lights, drink something warm, chamomile tea or golden milk with turmeric and almond milk. Stretch gently, breathe slowly. Tell your body, we're safe, we're slowing down. And try this. Every night before bed, write down 3 things you're releasing from your mind. Worries, tasks, conversations that didn't sit right. Just put them on paper. Externalize them. Studies show that people who write down their thoughts before bed fall asleep faster and sleep more deeply. Why? Because your brain no longer has to hold on. And what about your sleep environment? Is it dark enough? Cool enough? Quiet enough? Your bedroom should feel like a sanctuary, not a storage room, not a backup office, a place where your body feels invited to repair. Let's also talk about something that goes hand in hand with sleep and with heart health: breathing. Have you ever noticed how shallow your breathing becomes when you're stressed? It's automatic. But over time, that habit keeps your nervous system locked in fight or flight. That means higher blood pressure, more inflammation, faster heart rate. It's a quiet tax on your heart, paid with every breath. But here's the gift. Breathing is one of the fastest ways to shift your heart out of stress. You don't need equipment. You don't need experience. Just one simple habit, a few minutes of slow, intentional breath each day. Try this with me right now. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Do it again. Slowly. You've just activated your parasympathetic nervous system. You've told your heart, we're okay. We can relax. That single practice, done for even 5 minutes a day, has been shown to lower blood pressure, improve heart rate variability, and reduce feelings of anxiety and overwhelm. I once worked with a man named Robert. He was 73, a retired teacher, and he'd had 2 heart attacks in the past decade. He had changed his diet, walked daily, took all the right medications, but he still felt anxious every day, still had tightness in his chest, especially at night. He said to me, "It's like I'm waiting for the next heart attack to find me." We worked on his breath. Just 5 minutes each evening, slow inhales, slower exhales. Within a month, his resting heart rate dropped, his blood pressure improved, but most importantly, he said something I'll never forget. He said, "I finally feel like I'm in control again." That's the power of the breath. It doesn't just heal the body, it returns you to yourself. And now, I want to touch on something that might feel a little more surprising. Something many people overlook in their efforts to protect the heart: posture. Yes, posture. The way you carry your body affects the way your heart functions. When you slump, your diaphragm can't expand fully. Your lungs can't draw in enough oxygen. Your heart works harder to compensate. Over time, poor posture can contribute to reduced circulation, shallow breathing, and even impaired digestion, which in turn affects your heart. But it's not just about standing up straight for appearance. It's about reclaiming your internal space. So, here's something you can do each morning. Stand with your feet hip-width apart. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest slightly. Not to puff it out, but to open it. Breathe deeply. Feel the difference? That small shift in posture sends a signal to your brain. I am safe. I am capable. I am present. Even a few minutes a day of gentle posture exercises, done in a chair if needed, can help reduce strain on your heart and improve circulation throughout your body. Add that to your routine and your body will respond. Because here's what most people get wrong about reversing heart risk after 65. They think it has to be dramatic, that it's too late, that they miss their chance. But science says the opposite. Studies show that people over 70 who make even modest changes, moving more, sleeping better, reducing stress, can reduce their heart risk as effectively as those in their 40s and 50s. Why? Because the body wants to recover. It just needs the right invitation. So let this be your invitation. Breathe deeper, sleep softer, connect more, stand taller. Because your heart is not just a muscle, it's a messenger, and it's been waiting patiently for you to listen. Now, as we move into our final part, we'll bring everything together: the movement, the food, the habits, but also the mindset. Because reversing heart risk isn't just about the physical, it's about identity. It's about who you believe you are and what you still believe is possible. And I promise you, it's more than you've been told. You're still here. That means something. It means this message has been stirring something inside you. Maybe quietly, maybe fiercely. Maybe part of you always suspected that there was more you could do. That health wasn't just about managing decline, but about reclaiming control. And you're right. Now, in this final stretch, let's complete the picture. Not just with habits, but with heart. Because this part, it's about transformation. Not of your body alone, but of the story you tell yourself when you look in the mirror. Let's go straight to the foundation. The single most powerful research-backed shift you can make for your heart after 65. And no, it's not a supplement. It's not a medication. It's movement. But not in the way most people think. I'm not talking about hitting the gym for hours or signing up for a boot camp. I'm talking about a daily rhythm of movement that meets you exactly where you are and gently pushes you forward. You see, your heart is a pump, but it's not a solo act. Your muscles, especially the large ones in your legs, act like secondary pumps. When you walk, your calf muscles squeeze the veins, pushing blood back up toward your heart. That helps reduce blood pressure, improve circulation, and lower your risk of clots. It also stimulates nitric oxide production, which relaxes your arteries and improves blood flow. And here's the magic part. This doesn't require anything extreme. Just 20 to 30 minutes a day of walking, spaced throughout your day, has been shown to cut heart disease risk by up to 40%. Even walking for 10 minutes after each meal helps regulate blood sugar and support vascular health. You don't need perfect balance. You don't need speed, you just need movement. Even seated exercises, lifting your legs, rotating your ankles, squeezing a ball with your hands, can stimulate circulation and keep your blood vessels supple. Start where you are. The goal isn't to get in shape. The goal is to stay alive, to feel your heart working with you, not against you. And while we're moving, let's talk about the kind of food that loves your heart back. You've probably heard the word anti-inflammatory tossed around like a buzzword. But here's what it really means. Chronic inflammation is like a slow internal fire that damages the lining of your arteries. It makes your blood stickier. It stiffens your vessels. It invites plaque. And it's driven by what we eat or don't eat. So, let's make it simple. Start with fiber. Real, soluble fiber. Found in oats, flax seeds, apples, beans. It binds to cholesterol in your digestive tract and carries it out of your body. It slows the release of glucose into your bloodstream. It feeds your gut bacteria, which in turn reduce inflammation across your entire system. Then, fats. Not low fat, not fat-free. The right fats, like extra virgin olive oil, which has been shown in multiple clinical trials to reduce cardiovascular events by up to 30% when used as your primary fat. Or omega-3s from fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, foods that literally smooth the walls of your arteries and reduce the likelihood of arrhythmias. And don't forget color. The more colors on your plate, the more antioxidants in your bloodstream. Berries, leafy greens, tomatoes, beets. These foods don't just fight disease, they fuel energy, mood, clarity. They help your heart by healing the terrain around it. Now, I know changing how you eat can feel like an emotional lift. Maybe you've been cooking the same way for decades. Maybe food is tied to memories, to love, to celebration. I get it. This isn't about restriction, it's about renewal. You're not giving things up. You're giving your heart a better chance. So, here's a ritual to try. Once a week, prepare one new heart-supporting dish. Invite someone to share it with you. Make it joyful. Make it beautiful. Let food become medicine and connection. Because at the end of the day, the science is clear. The Mediterranean diet, the one rich in olive oil, fish, beans, vegetables, and herbs, is the most proven, powerful eating pattern to reverse heart risk, reduce stroke, and even lengthen telomeres, the protective caps on your DNA. And it's not exotic. It's not expensive. It's a choice, one that starts in your kitchen. Now let's return to something even more foundational than food, more personal than movement, something we haven't named fully yet. But that underlies every single heart transformation I've ever witnessed. It's self-compassion. Because here's the truth most people won't tell you. Healing isn't linear. Some days you'll feel energized. Other days, you'll feel old patterns creeping back in. You'll skip the walk. You'll reach for something sugary. You'll feel tired or low, or like nothing is working. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human. Self-compassion doesn't mean making excuses, it means staying in the game. It means looking in the mirror, even on the hard days, and saying, I'm still worthy of care. I'm still in this. I still matter. Research from Kristen Neff, one of the world's leading psychologists in this space, shows that people who practice self-compassion are more likely to stick with healthy behaviors, bounce back from setbacks, and experience lower levels of inflammation and stress. So, maybe the real heart habit, the one that ties all the others together, is simply this. Speak to yourself with the same kindness you'd offer someone you love. Now, I want you to imagine something. It's 6 months from now. You've been making these shifts, not perfectly, but consistently. Your plate looks more colorful. Your feet are moving more each day. Your sleep feels deeper. You're breathing more intentionally. You're reaching out to people again. You're showing up to your own life, not with urgency, but with presence. And one day, someone says to you, you look different. Not because you lost weight, not because your wrinkles faded, but because your eyes are clearer, your posture is stronger, your energy is steadier, and your heart is finally thriving again. That's not a fantasy. That's not reserved for someone younger, or someone luckier, or someone with better genes. That's available to you, right now, starting today. So, let's bring this all together. Let's make this real. Tonight, take a walk. Even just around the house. Stretch, breathe, prepare a small, nourishing meal. Sip water slowly. Call someone you've been meaning to reach out to. Reflect on the habits we've covered, not all at once, but one at a time. Repeated, integrated, personalized. Then, when you lie in bed, place your hand on your chest. Feel that heartbeat? That's your proof. You're still here. You still get to choose. And your next choice? It could be the one that saves your life. If this spoke to you, if even one moment resonated, don't let it end here. Share this with someone you love. Start a conversation. Watch it again. Talk to your doctor. Begin your own 30-day reset. You don't need to wait for a diagnosis. You don't need permission. You just need one reason. And you already have it. Your life. Your breath, your heartbeat. You've got this. We'll see you next time here on Health 360 Pro. And until then, walk gently, eat colorfully, rest deeply, and move forward. One heart-strong day at a time.